here. Today we will be talking about Linux commands, and how to interact with Linux servers. We have just had some technical issues, so we started a bit later, and we were not able to share the real Linux instance. So Andrei, who is here, who is the author of today's talk, he will tell me what to type, and I will type all the commands in the git bash. It's command line tool shipped with git itself, and it has almost all the useful commands from the Linux. Maybe we will lack one or two commands, but we will see. As always, I remind you that you can ask your questions in the chats. We will try to answer all of them. And I think we can start. Andrei, pass the word to you.
Yeah, again, so yes, my name is Andrei. I'm software engineer at EPAM, and today we will show you some useful commands, or some Linux commands. But yeah, as we said, we face some technical issues. Yeah. Let's start from what Linux is. I'll give some overview. So Linux, it's a free and open source operating system. It's based on the Unix, and it's widely used for servers, supercomputers, and also on also on personal computers. One of the key features of the Linux is its flexibility and customization options, which allow to easily modify and optimize system for your needs. The freedom of action and customization is not compared to Windows or even macOS. And today we it's especially you can see it because we will use Windows unfortunately for it. So let's start from simple commands such as ls, which shows current directory. And
yeah, for now it's empty.
Let's create some file. To do it, we can use command touch with some name.
Let it be file txt.
Well,
and yeah, we see it in our directory.
Great. To see the current path, so where we're locating now, we can use pwd.
If I'm not mistaken, it's a shortened for print working directory. So if you're trying to memorize it.
Yes, unfortunately, so I tried to comment what is, and some comment, no. Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't work, so also help. Yeah, sorry again.
pwd prints here disk C, etc. because we are on Windows, but on Linux it would print the path in the same format, like / and then the path starts, but the path itself would be completely different. So if you're following us on Linux, you will have different output.
Yes. Let's create a few more files. And
okay. Which will be file 2, txt, and file 3. Okay.
And to create one more file with a dot at the start of file name.
Okay. Touch dot. Well, programmers usually create git ignore file, so I will create it here. We don't see it.
Yes, as you can see, we don't see git ignore because in Linux, all files and directories which starts from the dot, they're not visible by default, but we can use special key ls minus a. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we also see two other links to the directories. In Linux, one dot is a link to the current directory, and two dots is a link for the parent directory. So I think we will be able to see it a bit later. But yeah, here we see git ignore.
Yes, so unfortunately we can't use command man to see the manual, but
Yeah, just type it. If you have a real Linux, not like us, you can print command man and so then the name of the command, and you will see the documentation about these commands with all the flags and what they do.
yeah, man usually contains a lot of useful documentation, description, flags, and etc. Because a lot of almost all commands has some modifications, some keys. For example, ls has keys minus a, minus l. Please write, yeah, ls minus l. Yes. You can see more information about current files and directories, and you also can combine both keys like ls minus a and minus la. Yes.
So and what are the fields that we see here?
First, so we have some numbers and its size, its file size, and we can use next key h to, yes, minus h, minus l h, all both.
Yeah.
Oh, strange. It should work a little bit different. Maybe on Linux you will see
maybe it's
kilobytes, megabytes, and etc. instead of this large number.
Yeah, so the format would be just a bit different.
Yeah, it's more human readable. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we're using ls to print the current directory and see all the files and subfolders. What are we going to see next?
Let's add some data to our file. For any file, we will use vim v.
I really hope it will work. It's file txt. Yeah.
Yeah, just add some data. In v, we have to use button I to switch to the insert mode. Yes, and then and write some data, and then press escape, and then shift and colon, and then W and Q to write to quit the Vim.
Yeah, so one of the most popular questions on the Stack Overflow is how to exit Vim. To do it, escape, colon, and here you write some flags. If you want to save the data, we write W and Q. If you don't want to write it, you should use other flags. You can Google them.
Or just restart the computer. Well, to see the file content, we can use command cat and file name.
Yeah, we have hello world here.
Great. So let's create some directory. To do it, we can use mkdir command. Yes.
some directory. Okay.
Yes, and let's copy our file, any file, to the
let's first go through the working tree. So here, if we press ls, we can see that we have a new directory, and here we can use command cd, it's change directory, to go through the directories on our machine. So we write some path, and we go to that folder. And if we would like to go back, we can write the full name of the folder that we want to open. But if we, as we mentioned before, there is a double dot. It's a link to the parent directory. So here I am inside our some dir, and if I press two dots, I'm back to Linux demo. Okay, let's copy some files. Which file?
any file to do it. Yes, we will use command cp and directory.
Yeah, let's be file.
Yes, file and directory where you want to put it.
Without the name of the file, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we have this file here, and also ls can accept the path of the directory to which, in which it should work. So here we can press some directory, and we will see the contents of this directory. Okay, here we have our some file too.
Yes, so we also can, for example, use cp to create a copy of file, and for example, put to the same folder but with different name.
Okay, let's do it. cp file2.txt.
So first file and the new name of the file.
File copy.txt. And yeah, we have file copy.
Right. We also have command to move files, for example, to another directory such as mv, mw.
So it doesn't copy, it just moves.
And yes, move our copied file to.
Okay, let's copy file copy to some directory, and we press. Yeah, and we don't have it anymore here. We can write the contents of this some directory, and yeah, now it's here.
Yes, let's remove our copied file with rm command. Yes.
Okay, so we are now in the Linux demo. We have to give the full path. So it will be some directory file copy .txt, and let's run this command again. It was deleted.
Then let's try to remove the directory.
Okay.
And as you can see, we can do it, but if you will use key R, we will able to remove the whole directory.
Yeah, as far as I remember, R stands for recursively, so it deletes all the files and then the directory itself. Let's check the contents. Yeah, the directory is gone.
Yes, in Linux, a lot of commands has this key. Yes, let's move on. Let's speak about group, or also known regular expressions. Asterisks mean count of any symbol, any count of any symbols. So question mark mean one or many. So yeah. Exclamation mark, it's mean not. So.
Okay, and what commands use these patterns?
For example, we can use ls star dot txt Yeah.
Find only files that end with txt. Okay, and let's try to find files that end with 3.txt. Yeah, and we have only one file.
Yes. We also can work with, for example, ranges. You can use ls open brackets square 1-3 close brackets. Yes. .txt. Oh. Well.
Yeah,
It
of
should
course,
work.
of course.
Yes.
Yeah, as we said, Git Bash is not real Linux, so commands that would work on the real Linux, real Ubuntu, don't work here. And I also think that these commands would work on the Mac OS, but yeah, unfortunately, I have Windows. Okay, so yeah, here we have some kind of filtering. Oh, and can we use it in the middle of the file name? Can we do it like file star and ends with T? Yes, it also works. So it's any number of any characters.
Yeah. Another filtering command, it's find, which we could use to find some files by some keys, such as find minus name,
Minus name,
and
okay.
then in brackets, for example,
Brackets again. Okay, let's try.
1-5.
One
Close the brackets, .txt.
Okay, and we didn't find anything.
Well, try to, yep.
Should be maybe file. Nope. We just have here file.
Yeah. You can use asterisk.
Okay.
Yes, and try to wrap file. Yes, the whole.
Yeah, great, it works.
It once.
So what do we do here? We find all files that match this pattern, correct? In all subfolders.
No, at this moment we use we search only in current folder, but to
Okay,
search for the all subfolders, we can use repeat the same command, but with dot after find.
Okay, let me just let's first create again some directory, and now let's just touch some directory. So we create a new file, some directory, another file. Yeah, fantasy is my strong point. Okay, and we check that we have this file, and if we run find name, what do we get here? Yeah, we don't get this another file. Oh, because it doesn't match the pattern. Let's just remove it. Yeah, we by default search in all all subdirectories of the current directory. And what do we need?
Yes, usually to work with subdirectories, we have to use patterns such as dot after find. But anyway.
Yeah, okay, so we can just search in the some directory, and yeah, if we specify the path, it searches only files in this path. Oh, yeah, before we continue, I think there is a good question that we forgot to cover in the very beginning. Why do we need these Linux commands? Why does a programmer need to know how to interact with Linux?
Because in most cases, we need to work with a remote machine where we don't have any graphical interface, only terminal, and to interact with system, we have to use such commands to, for example, see logs of your application or copy something. Yeah.
Yeah, and as was written on the thumbnail of this video, more than 90% of servers run Linux, so it's very, very useful for a programmer to know it. And we have one more comment from Dmitry. Explain Linux CLI basics using MinGW. Yeah, we totally agree with you, but we unfortunately had some technical issues and we were unable to present a real Linux machine. So we decided that the basic commands are the same here and there, but we totally understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, Dre, let's go further.
So let's try another key for find command. It's minus size. Just
okay, let's search everywhere. Minus size.
Plus m, for example, 5. And no, remove all after 5.
Okay. Do I write it correctly? I haven't really used this flag. Let's maybe try to. Nope. Invalid
Try
argument.
to use no. So it should find all files which more than 5 megabytes. No,
okay,
no need to wrap
maybe
them. No.
Oh, maybe it's small m. No, maybe it's without. No, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
No. Okay, yeah, and again, it should work.
Yes.
But probably this comment is not that popular, so I really haven't used the find. Probably that's why it doesn't work here. Okay.
I can say that probably no one knows all commands and their keys. It's
okay.
Let's try to see.
Just a comment that I executed. It's clear. It removes all the contents from your command line. It just seems prettier. Okay.
Yes. Let's work with a large amount of text data, but I'm not sure that we can find such files in your case. Do you have some log files, for example? Because in Linux we can use, for example, var logs, syslog, and something like this.
I don't think so, but we have file dot not cd. What am I writing? Vim and yeah, here we can do hello and oh my god, how to duplicate a line in the Vim. Vim has a great amount of hotkeys, but if you don't work with them, you will not remember them. D1? No, I thought it was double D. Now I think we will not be able to create a huge file, but we can. Yeah, also write. Okay, let's start simple. We also have a command echo that just prints the value of what you passed to it. It can be used to evaluate some small expressions. And also in Linux, we have, okay, someone helps us in the chat and says that P for paste and double Y for duplicating. Thank you. Let's try it. Paste. Okay, it works. Oh my god. pastes. How big file do we need?
I think it's enough.
Okay, so we print what? W and Q to exit it?
Yes.
Okay.
Right and quit.
Let's check our file. Yeah, and it's very big.
Let's try to see how much lines do we have. It's NL and file name. NL number lines.
NL. Okay.
File name, yes.
I know these comments.
So no, it's a word count. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, but it also prints the number of lines.
Yes, previous comment also printed the number of lines. If you
oh,
you can
yeah,
see.
and it writes the line number, well, index of the line next to the line itself. Wow, I haven't seen this comment really. Yeah, so we have the first line.
I'm not surprised that.
Yeah, haven't really needed it.
Yes, and you also shown another nice comment, like we see our word count. It shows us number of lines, symbols,
words and symbols.
Yes,
and the file name.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. As you can see, it's a large file, but usually, for example, log files much more bigger than this. But for us, I think it will be enough. We can use.
Yeah, just a second. I wanted to show that we can echo and redirect the output to the file if you press, well, if you press, two greater than signs and then the file name, then the output of the comment will be appended to the end of the file. So if we do this and we word count, yeah, now we have 3 lines and 454 words. And if you want to rewrite file from scratch, you can press just one greater than sign. And I wanted to check, I haven't really used it, if we can make the file twice as big if we print the contents of the file and then append it to the file.
Yes, it should.
Input file is output file. Okay, so we can print it to file 2, then file 2 to file 1, and then again several times. A little bit of dirty hacking of Linux. Okay, and let's do file.txt. Yeah, we have 700 lines here. Okay.
Yes, let's use head command to see the last first n lines from this file. No.
No, let's use that. Yeah, just our lines are very big. How can we limit the number of lines output?
You can use key n.
Oh, n. Okay.
Head minus n, yes, and some number.
So here we just take the first line from the file. For us, it's even for us, it can be really useful because we have a file of 700 lines, and if we just print its contents, it explodes and we cannot really find anything here. And if you have a big logs file or anything else, it can be more than gigabytes of text. Yeah, so it's a huge file, and head is really crucial here just to fetch the first parts that you really need. Okay.
Yes, we have another really same command such as tail, which shows last n lines. By default, in both command, it's 10 lines.
Yeah. Let's see the last two lines. Oh yeah, they're pretty big.
Yes.
Okay.
Next comment is less and file name. Yes, we can use it to use, for example, let's say pagination to also work with large files. We can use page up, page down.
Yeah, so here it just shows the text that fits to my screen, and I can go to both sides reading this text, and when I don't need it anymore, what do I press? Shift colon and Q, and we exit this file. So again, it's a very handy command when you have files of many gigabytes of size or even megabytes. Yeah, okay, great. What next?
Well, let's work with something like exception handling and something like this. I don't know how to call it. Let's create let's check that we don't have some directory, for example, ls dir 999, something like this. Never mind.
Dir 999, we not such file directory.
Yes. We can, for example, work only with errors, and for example, you could repeat this previous command and also use greater and file name, for example, errors txt.
File exception, yeah, txt. And what did we do here? Okay, so we have our exception printed to the file. What is this magic?
So we can, for example, create error logs, something like this, for some error outputs.
Okay, why? Okay, I understand the greater than sign. We just redirect the output to some file as we did before. But why is it 2 here?
2 mean the error output. 1 it's like regular.
Okay, let's try just less, 1 greater than, and file success txt. Will it work?
1 greater and greater, it's the same as without 1. It works the same.
Okay, yeah. So
it's just
here, file success. Yeah, and we see the output here. Okay.
Yes.
From what I remember, but I'm not sure.
We can combine.
Yeah, you cannot add spaces around here. So
yes,
Linux, well, let's say compared to Java programming, I know that it's not really correct to say that. Linux compared to Java programming is very sensitive to all the spaces. And if you write some scripts on Bash or whatever, and it doesn't work, but you think that it should work, just check the spaces. It can save you really a lot of time. Okay, how can we combine it?
For example, we can use ls, some doesn't exist, dir, or something which will provide, yeah. Then yes, and then do in the end at do yes.
So we redirect.
just
yeah.
We redirected all.
Yeah, both outputs, both streams we redirect to files. It can be very useful when you're, actually redirecting the errors to some file, not useful when you just code something in the command line, because, well, it's better to see the output here. But if you have some script that you run on some machine and you don't see the command line, you need to redirect it somewhere to be able to read it later. Okay, what next?
Let's work with some filtering with pipes. Yes, try to write ls pipe, then grep.
Okay.
And
TXT, let it be.
Something.
Okay. Yeah, let's explain what we do here. We execute the first command. Then using this pipe sign, we take the output of the first command and redirect it not to the file, but to the second command. And here we have a command grep. What grep stands for?
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay.
It used to filter. It's just search for something.
String matching. So we print, search for all the files in current directory, and then we find all lines. So in our case, all file names that contain .txt. And actually, we see all the files, but we can just say 3, and we see only one file that contains 3. Okay.
Let's repeat previous command and then add one more pipe, and for example, VC.
Yeah.
And now, yes, we counted all TXT files.
Yeah, so we are not limited to a single pipe. We can use as many of them as we want. So it really allows you to speed up your development, because you just execute one command, take the output, push to the second command, then take it, push to the third command. For me, it's like in Java, it's like streams, .filter, .map, .flat map. Maybe you can think of it like that too. Oh yeah, and we have another comment in the chat. Grep is a global regular expression print. I thought that R is RE stands for regular expression, but I didn't understand what the first and the last letter stands for. Okay, great. What do we have next?
Let's see the whole history of our commands which we printed. Today it's just history.
History.
Yes, as you can see here.
Yeah, I have 600 comments. I'm afraid some of them are project related, so I should not show them. So I will not scroll up.
Yeah. Probably that's it for today. We described a lot of useful commands. Of course it's not all. Yes. Yeah. Probably you can make another.
Yeah, let's just revisit.
Yes.
Very, very quick. We have pwd for current directory, ls for all the files, and kadir for creating a new folder, touch for creating a new file, or if the file exists, we would update its last modified date. It's very rarely needed, but when it is, it's very handy. Okay, CP to copy anything, MV to move. And yeah, actually, there is a popular question, how to rename file on Linux. And you don't really rename files on Linux. You move the file to the file with the new name. So we move, let's say, file txt to file new.txt. So we have this file in the current folder. And yeah, it's actually has the same effect as renaming files, but you have to use move command. Okay, grep for searching in the file. V or vim is a most common what it's called, text editor. Yeah, and also there is nano. I'm not sure that I have it on my system, but oh yeah, actually I have it. How to exit it? Oh my god, why did I open it? I have never used nano.
You have some help, yes, on the bottom.
Yeah, but how do I? Okay, no, it's not like that. Okay, I think we will stop this point. Yeah, I can open just a new git bash and it works. If you don't know how to exit Vim, you can close the terminal and open a new one. Yeah, also we have most commonly used cd to change directory. So, yeah, I haven't finished about nano. It's just didn't let me to finish. Nano is a more modern text editor than Vim. I think Vim appeared in the 1970s and Nano is from 1980s, something like that. And yeah, many programmers prefer Nano over Vim. But yeah, it's just a matter of preferences. Okay, then we have, oh yeah, we have a great chat today. Wow, yeah, it's really Control X, and I think file to write, Control C, Control X, and yeah. We can exit it. Thanks a lot. Yeah, okay, we have head to see only the top lines, less to go through the file, tail to see only the bottom lines, WC to count lines, words, and symbols in the file, and NL, yeah?
Yes, number of lines.
Okay, yeah, number of lines. And that's probably the most important comments that we had today. And guys, if you have any questions, ask them. We will do our best to answer them. And for now, we have only one question. Are there convenient ways to work with a large number of files? For example, if I want to copy 20 files, do I need to name them all in comment?
No, so you can use regular expressions, yes, to copy, move, or delete all of them. You also can use find or grep to search for something and then put to another comment and combine them and
yeah,
do something.
So if your files have the common name, you can use regular expressions. If not, then how would Linux understand what files to copy? So then you would need to specify them all. Okay, I don't see any more questions, so just will remind you that we have a free school of Java that starts from the very, very basics on how to create your first program and goes up to cloud, where you would need these Linux commands and some modern technologies, etc. Okay. MJC.school. We have a link in the description under each of our videos. And we've got one more question. What is convenient way to search string in long file? For example, lock.
For example, you can use grep.
Yeah, let's show. We have long file new, 700 lines. We search, what is the format? It's
So you
file
can use,
name first.
for example, you can use I don't know, cat, pipe, grep, and
Yeah, sure. Cat file new.txt grep hello. Oh, and we don't have it. Strange. It should be here. No, maybe I
no, it
didn't
should.
use correct file name.
No.
So yeah, you can cat file and then just grab it. Okay, yeah, and we have another comment so that you can loop over files using Linux for loops. It's just completely another topic that we didn't touch today. Linux Bash has good scripting language. It's a bit difficult to write in it, but it's very powerful, and you can do whatever you want in scripts. And they have all this kind of ifs, whiles, arrays. It's just like a real programming. And yeah, using it, you can definitely loop through file names. But when you use just a command line, personally, I prefer to use a short command, not to write a gigantic script to do one thing. Okay, guys, I think now we will be finally wrapping up. Thanks for being with us today. Sorry again for the technical issues and for showing you Linux on Windows. We understand how bad it sounds and looks. Thank you and see you next week. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.